Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. So this is a classic. This is a classic book on outbound prospecting, on outbound appointment setting, on outbound selling. And who is this for? This is for sales reps who can benefit from outbound prospecting. This is for business developers, and this is for all the entrepreneurs, CEOs, people who need to reach out to people to build their business. This book is a classic. It's very widely praised. It's been around for quite a while, for a long time. It's widely praised on Reddit. Anytime there is a post about fanatical prospecting, all salespeople just rally up and just say how fantastic, amazing this book is. I read Fanatical Prospecting over a year ago, and there are three things that stuck with me since that time for the last 12 months, actually over 12 months. They stuck with me. I'm doing them on a regular basis. So first I want to show you, I want to make this entire review about three massive major points that I got out of Fanatical Prospecting, and I'll show you other little bits and pieces. So here we've got table of contents, and I'll just go straight to that point that stuck with me. And the first one is called the golden rule. So let me find where it is. Somehow it's like the goal of this book in the golden rule, which is somewhere in chapter, God knows where. Let me find that. Procrastination, stick to your guns, stick to your guns. Where is the golden? Protect the golden hours. Here it is. So what is golden hours? What is the idea of golden hours? Look, even when you are a salesperson, you have lots of activities on your plate, things you need to do. You need to follow up, you need to prepare lists, you need to email. If you are a full cycle sales rep, if you are an account manager, you need to look after existing clients, prepare quotes. If you are an entrepreneur, look, you have to manage a team, you have to apply for funding, you have to deal with, there's lots and lots and lots of things to do. And what happens is that the activity that brings your business forward, the prospecting, the outbound, the outreach, it's something that's always postponed and postponed and postponed. And what is the golden hour? And pretty much because it's always postponed, because it's stressful, we just don't do it, period. So, and we postpone it, we don't do it, we postpone it, we don't do it, we postpone it, and we don't do it. So the solution to that is just to have that rule saying, hey, this is my golden hour. I don't even know how to highlight in this reader, but let's just say we're not going to highlight it. So what is a golden hour? It's just a day, time in your calendar, a commitment to yourself saying, hey, during this time, I'm picking up the phone and dialing. Or during this time, I'm composing my cold emails. During this time, I'm going and doing face-to-face prospecting. It's a must-have activity that takes a priority, a precedence over everything else. Everything else will fall in place if I prospect on a regular basis. So that is the golden hour. So there is a time right now. So for the last year, there's been a time in my calendar where I'm calling people. So right now, let's say my prospecting process goes like this. I prepare a list. It takes me about 2-3 hours to prepare a list of companies. Then major sales effort for me is to compose my cold emails. That would be a cold hour for me. Maybe Jeb would disagree. And then I should send those cold emails. And then I also spend probably an hour a week or 2 hours a week cold calling the businesses that didn't reply to my cold emails. But those prospecting activities, that golden hour is with me week after week after week, because this is how I book most of my meetings. This is where I get most, or pretty much all of my leads. And if I got, and the moment I get fascinated, the moment I get involved with anything else, that's it. I don't have any more meetings. There is no chance I can keep building my business. So that is the golden hours. That's the idea. Now, let me show you another concept here, which goes well along. How do I find my pointer? Here it is. Protect the golden hours. There is something called platinum hour. Here you go. So there is also the idea of platinum hours. What is platinum hour? Platinum hour is the time when we prepare. Because what happens is that during golden hour, there is that temptation to research the customer, compose a cold email, pick up the phone and call it. But because those are all different activities, if I do all of this together, then I'm very ineffective at cold calling. I'm very ineffective at sending those cold emails. So platinum hour is that preparation for the golden hour. Platinum hour is when I research my customers. Platinum hour is when I select a list of companies I wanted to reach out. I get the names of the people I want to talk to. I get their emails. I get their phone numbers. So all that preparation that goes, so my golden hour becomes extremely efficient, right? So leverage platinum hours is the preparation for that massive concentrated effort of golden hour. So that is the second massive point that I took from Jeb Blount, and that's been implementing over the last year. It's part of my prospecting activity. It's how I do my sales, and this is what I teach my clients. Now, let me show you a third massive point, and it's called the 30-day rule. And the 30-day rule here, what Jeb says is that when we stop prospecting, when we don't stick to our golden hours, nothing happens really. You don't prospect, that's okay. You still have leads in your funnel. You still have people that you've spoken to. You still be closing sales. And then if you don't skip prospecting for another day, nothing's going to happen. And if you speak prospecting again, nothing's going to happen. Look, there is a gap from the moment you stop prospecting to the moment it starts biting you. But if you don't prospect for 30 days, or he actually mentions here somewhere for 90 days, then suddenly you arrive to a point where you don't have any more leads to close. And suddenly you realize, hey, in order to start selling now, in order to start closing leads, deals, I need to start prospecting. But guess what? The next sale is coming in 90 days because that's my sales cycle. So what Jeb is saying, stick to golden hour, stick to prospecting. And if you skip a day, you think it's nothing, but this is massive. You skip a day and 90 days later, it's going to bite you. So that's the 30-day rule. Let me give you a couple more other points that are really awesome here. So all these entry chapters, case for prospecting, real secrets, search of the easy button, all this stuff is just to kick you in the butt and say you have to prospect, you have to generate leads. Because look, we just want to avoid this at any cost, and Jeff wants to kick us in the nuts and say you have to do it. And finally, there is something also really good here. There are some really good points here in the rest of the chapters on how to book meetings, what to speak about on the phone, how to deal with secretary. Even there are a couple of good cold email templates. So all that is gold, all that is very practical. Something that a year later right now, there is a chapter about somewhere here, I forgot where it is, but there is a chapter about social selling, and that's the chapter I'm actually probably going to go and look at today, tomorrow, because I'm not leveraging referrals and testimonials and in the social selling. So I'm going to look into that and just learn a bit more on my second read of this book. So that is Fanatical Prospecting. If you haven't read it, if you are a sales rep, you have to read it. If you are a CEO, entrepreneur, you have to read it. If you're a business developer, you have to read it. And if you are a marketer who's trying to understand salespeople, you have to read it as well. Happy reading, fantastic book, highly recommended.